day 2 of Battle of the B-Sides. We had an amazing first day and getting a lot of really good feedback for our first official Battle of the B-Sides that we hope to make a recurring thing every season. Our first game of day 2 will be Columbia taking on New England. So we'll go through some introductions here and talk to everybody who's skating, and we'll move on to our first game of the day. We'll talk about the team currently on the line in black. This is Columbia. We have number 011, Little Bit. Wearing number 11, Salt. Number 12, Fright Bite. Number 13, 73, Kick Puncher. Wearing number 319, Storm Cloud. Number 333, Cherry Bomb. 404, Crash and Burn. 429, Dr. Disco. 616, Womp Womp. 653, Shorty. 709, Smasher. 720, Hell's Bells. 79, Spitfire. And number 87, Benny Bone. Give it up for Columbia, playing a very amazing game yesterday. And Columbia, we do have your shout-outs saved. I know some of your bench staff wanted those, so they are up here at the announcer table. And let's talk about who is skating today for New England.
Thank you, Carnage. Carnage is here today, and we are talking about
only.
who is skating for New England. We have number 1, Green Eggs and Slam. Number 17, Fire Flyer. Number 1977, bringing it back, McNugget. Number 22, HK. Number 303, Lucifer. Number 31, Ghost Skate. Number 375, Cinnamon Roller. 39, we have Beyblade. We have number 44, Radium Girl. Number 66, Ruby Rocket. Number 68, Luca Motive. Number 77, Helen Killer. And number 777, Moxie. 88, Crazy Banana. 913, Punky Bruiser. And 9999, Sugar Crush. Here's your New England roster for today. And it's time to derby.
Yeah, now Columbia we saw play yesterday in that first game against Denver, and what a game that was.
That was a nail-biter.
That was a game where they were down, Denver was down 15 points, or 14 points, and threw out a jammer who put up 15 with that 1-point win. So you really, we have to say that's a win on both sides. And here is New England coming to us from, obviously, their Massachusetts area.
I think this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think we got Moxie here with the start. Yep, Moxie versus number 11, Salt from Columbia.
Salt taking an early out from the pack.
Moxie getting held up behind that Columbia defense. There's a 4-wall at the bottom of the pack. Now Moxie taken down.
And we've got number 66 going into the penalty box with Salt making another pass as lead jammer. We've got Moxie. I think we've got a successful star pass here. And Firefly is now jamming for New England. And Salt calls the jam. With a 12-point lead, 12-0 for the first jam of game. What number is this? Game 4?
I guess this is going to be game 5.
Game 5?
Yeah, we
Game
had
5.
4 yesterday, so.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have these shout-outs available, so hey, we have a pile of shout-outs here that we did yesterday. Still doing them again today, and that supports our hosting league, Philly Juniors. Crash and Burn now out there versus Ghost Skate.
Columbia's out with a early lead jam. Ghost Skate's in the...
Yeah. Ghost Skate having a seat and a penalty, so this is a power jam for Crash and Burn. Columbia losing fright to the penalty box, but they still have their jammer now out on a power jam.
Crash and Burn took a tumble there, but continues to hold lead jammer. We've got Ghost Skate back out of the box. Coming around to the pack. Up, and now we've got Crash and Burn.
Yeah.
Taking turns
now
in the box.
Ghost Skate is out, completing an initial pass.
So now we're gonna play this.
Yeah, forget about
this jam all the way out.
About 50 seconds now with no chance of a call off.
And Ghost Skate takes some points and puts them in their pocket.
First points of the game here by New England. Now Ghost Skate on a roll.
On a roll. I see what you did there.
So, I'm bad at puns. We'll give the stories of the pun thing here in the lineup after this jam.
Crash and Burn makes their way through that pack.
But Crash and Burn's having too much fun in that scoring pass. Oh, see, there he goes. Here's our shout-outs. No one heard that.
What?
So I got these two clothespins yesterday. I got that one that flew off the mic. That's like some kind of possession thing. And I was watching the live feed for the game yesterday, and it took me approximately 9 hours to make the connection between You've Been Inked and Squid Squad. And I did not realize in my slow derby brain, ink, squid, yes. So puns just sometimes don't make it through. We are going to a timeout here by our officials. We have our first shout out of the day going to Benny Bone from Columbia. Clock that T, Benny B. Love, Mom.
Aw, Mom.
We're going to add this to the Columbia pile.
Hey, where are all these shout-outs coming from?
I just got 4 at once.
Where are they coming from? Oh,
well,
they're coming from over
you
in
have
the merch
to
table.
go visit the Philly merch table. We do have tournament shirts for the Battle of the B-Sides. We have Philly logo shirts, stickers. I think there's mouth guards. Now, there's always going to be a skater who forgets their mouth guard, or do what I do, leave it in your car and that factory resets.
There's even hot water here at the
Hot
Nerd.
water, yes.
There is. So you can make a new mouth guard if you need one. Shout-outs are only $1. They're over there at the merch table, and support your favorite skater.
Oh, Sayonara is hustling tickets.
Oh, and buy
And the
some
raffle
raffle
tickets.
tickets.
Look, you can't miss Sayonara. That pink hair, I can spot her from Harrisburg.
We're going to be drawing those raffles at the end of the next game. Is that what you said, Sarah? Is that? Thank you. Thank you. Lots of great stuff to win. Thank you, Sayonara.
There are about half a dozen or so raffles. There's a helmet raffle. There's a gear raffle.
It's very derby-centric.
And Philly-centric.
Yes.
There's the vintage Philly sports gear up there, the sweatshirts. There's the custom jersey here by our newest partner, Skate Free or Die. And I'm seeing their names pop up a lot more here in the past few weeks. I know we've talked about them at my team. I saw them at Northeast Uprising here about a month or two ago.
They do great work. They really make custom jerseys, and they fit lovely, and great turnaround times.
Yes, the newest Derby uniform provider and the largest manufacturer here in the Northeast. So we're glad to have them here for Battle of the B-Sides.
And friendly service. Oh, are we back?
I went to get size for a jersey, and they knew my size just by looking at me. They gave me a number, and it was like, this is a perfect fit.
That's great. And we're back with a new
Hell's Bells getting that track cut.
Track cut. Another penalty here. We got. Oh. Well, we've got 3 Columbia players in the box now.
So New England with lead. Cinnamon Roller is in control.
Cinnamon Roller jumping out for lead jammer. Cinnamon Roller coming around. Working their way against that pack there. Finally cleared out that penalty box. And the jam is called with 4 points for Cinnamon Roller.
I thought that was Tricky Vic running away. And I forgot to bring, twice in a row, I forgot to bring Rocket, which is the raccoon she gave me about 1.5 years ago. And every time Tricky Vic skates, I would bring my raccoon, and she has a matching raccoon. And it sits on a shelf above him in my living room, and twice now I forgot to bring it. But now I have a Tricky Vic clothespin I can put next to Rocket.
Nice.
The things we do for Junior Derby. Salt is out with lead, and it's a 10-point game.
It is a 10-point game. I see some triads here. Good defense. I see a successful star pass for New England. We've got Sugar Crush now as jammer for New England. Working their way.
Look at that footwork by Salt.
Staying in.
Coming around that turn.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ooh, look what we got.
We got more shot outs.
Awesome.
There's 4 of them in a row right there.
Awesome. Oh, and Salt is recycled back to the back of the pack. New England's defense working hard, but Salt makes their way through. Sugar Crush at the back of the pack, working against that Columbia defense. That Columbia defense really holding tight. Sugar Crush is pushing through. And Salt makes another loop around. So far, 16 points this jam.
We might need to call an announcer's timeout to catch up on the shout-outs here. I just got a few more from Tef.
And Salt is looking at a 20-point jam. And Sugar Crush recycled back around. What a great jam by Salt.
We've got another shout-out here for Benny Bone from Columbia. Love you, your Rhode Island family.
Oh, that's some New England love.
A lot of New England
Boone.
love.
There you go.
Put this on the Columbia pile.
New England love for Columbia, South Carolina. See, it's all about love here at Derby. Love has no boundaries.
It is very much a family across the Northeast region.
Oh, and we've got Crash and Burn getting out first. As Locomotive pushes against that wall. Locomotive continuing to push against that Columbia defensive wall. As Crash and Burn takes another turn around. Crash and Burn slices through.
Wow, Crash and Burn looks like,
back.
might have gone out of bounds just by a half a wheel width, but still taking the safe route. Like
And we'll take a moment here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad drive.
No.
If I like, even if I take Route 30 to avoid the turnpike and the tolls, it's less than 2 hours. It is. It goes so quick. Like, I know it now. It's till I get to the Schuylkill Expressway. But 202 to 30.
No. Graduated last year.
Jam called for a matter of safety here by our officials, and we would be remiss. We've been talking about our volunteers, photographers, and officials all weekend, but our favorite and by far most crucial volunteers, I believe it's Ellie and Evie, our official PRDJ medics, make sure we have the best care possible. So let's give it up for Ellie and Evie, our medics for the tournament, making sure our skaters have the best care possible.
They
Always
are
a big part of our team, and tournaments certainly cannot go on without them here.
We are in good hands, and they are the best, and they give us their time freely and
We would love them to just
So
be
appreciative.
spectators, but when they need to, they are jump up into action and make sure everybody is safe.
yeah.
Just a reminder, the food is not permitted on any area of the rink. All drinks must have a cover or cap. We don't want any spills. And please be sure to throw out all your trash. We thank you in advance for your help keeping the NERC clean. We love having events here. It's a great venue. We love to keep that relationship with Miss Anna in tip-top shape. Here comes Drucifer with his nonchalant, candid photographs. Follow Drucifer on the socials for the official pictures. We've also had Andrew Keys and Ross Sieber, all of our photographers here, making sure that these memories are captured for years to come.
And actually, you can get some more information about getting photos up at the front desk. We have some QR codes that you can reach the photographers who you see here today. Or just talk to them, because they're nice people.
Yep.
Except that Drew. Be careful of him.
The official live stream operator. So if you're watching that live stream, that is made possible by our very own Drew Wiedemann, also
He is
known
the
as
best.
Drucifer, and the father of our very own number 909 Livid, who co-announced yesterday.
And a shout out to our live stream audience. Y'all don't get enough credit for waking up on a Sunday morning and watching us on the old television.
Especially if you're in a different time zone,
yeah,
too.
put your
Like,
HDMI cable in there and watching us on the TV and your jammies. Good morning.
I know we had some during the Pittsburgh game yesterday. I know we had some undead people watching that live feed, so we're glad we can provide that.
I wonder if we have some people in Texas.
I'm sure we do.
You know, watching in a different time zone.
Unfortunately,
Not right
we
now,
don't
but-
have access to the commentary, but I'm sure that if you check in, maybe we can find out who's actually watching and where you're watching from.
That's right. That's right.
We'll give a shout out here to Crash and Burn from Columbia. This is from Mom. Rock this, pour some gas on it, and burn it down.
Oh, Mom, that's so
This is
cute.
a very similar reference yesterday.
So sweet. Oh, just burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, we're going to destroy this.
Aw.
So there's no evidence anything happens. We do have the Columbia shout-outs here in a pile. We'll return them to the team. I think they wanted these for their skaters. So they are up here, and they're being tracked safe and sound. Looks like our officials might be returning to their positions. Okay, we're coming out of this, coming into our next jam. Columbia 55, New England 17 with 20 minutes left to our first half. Is that a two-whistle start? Is it 2011? Okay, right off that whistle, Moxie called off in a back block as a jammer from New England. So Crash and Burn, who just received this shout-out, is currently burning it to the ground.
See, shout-outs work, I'm telling you.
That dollar,
shout-outs work.
That dollar might get your niece, nephew, or your child at lead jammer. So certainly came in at just the right time.
It's the magical powers of a shout-out. Crash and Burn.
We talk about the announcer's curse a lot. We're going to bring up the power of the shout-out. Palindrome score 71-17. Columbia in the lead. 16-0 jam there by Crash and Burn.
Oh, I like a palindrome score. Oh, that's nice.
Hell's Bells out there for Columbia. Cinnamon Roller with the star for New England, and it is 5-on-5. Columbia stretches a four-wall out at the top of the pack, putting a slowdown on Cinnamon Roller.
And Hell's Bells.
Cinnamon Roller is making me crave a nice hot cinnamon roll, and there's a Wawa 20 feet from us. That's not a good thing for some simple sugar and carbs early in the morning. Wow, they're coming in by the handful. Look at that.
See? The power of the shout-out. Here comes Hell's Bells. Cinnamon Roller not far behind. And Hell's Bells is going to call it.
Here's a shout out here for HK from New England. I love you so much, girl. You are killing it out there. I'm so proud of you. Pookie, that is from Green Eggs and Slam.
Aww.
Let's go into a timeout here by our officials for just a moment. Thank you to all of the amazing Philly Junior families who have stepped in the volunteer this weekend. It takes a village, and that says the absolute least. It takes a village to host a tournament, and we could never do it without you. So a very heartfelt thank you for helping us put this together. This is our inaugural, as we've been saying this weekend, Battle of the B-Sides B-Team Championships.
And do I understand that most of the music we're playing today is all B-sides music? Or some of it? No.
Well,
but some of it is, I'm
could
sure.
have played that off and said yes. You wouldn't look
Yes.
like we...
Some of it. Well,
I don't know.
is there B-side music
I
anymore?
think you can... I mean, you're talking about like a 33, right? Where there was one song on one side and then... I'm not that old.
Really famous B-side music.
Yeah. Well,
We've definitely played some great B-side music this weekend, here and there. Some great stuff.
wait. No, we haven't had that issue. And I'm thinking of actually the 45 was a smaller single song record, and then you had one side was one song, you'd flip it over, and you had to put the little core in the center of the record player.
And it was the song that
Not
the
old.
record company didn't think would sell as
Right,
well.
right. We're getting some very awkward looks over here. I knew that when I was a kid, you could put the record player on 45 and play the LP's records, and it would sound like the Chipmunks.
I know this fact.
That's before my time. I was born in the 80s. No, not. I mean, I've experienced records in my lifetime, but I think even when I was old enough to know what they were, we were kind of moving into the compact disc era. Salt out the jam for Columbia, and Salt is our lead jammer. Fire Flyer, speaking of burning things to the ground, is jamming here for New England.
Fire Flyer recycling back. And working against that Columbia defense. That Columbia wall is really holding Fire Flyer back. As Salt makes another scoring pass here. And Fire Flyer comes through again, picking up some more points. Did I say Salt or Fire Flyer? Salt, sorry. Fire Flyer's pushing against that wall.
Okay, look at this. I better catch up on some of these.
I see we've got about 16 minutes left, and Salt is really just holding this jam down. Oh, do we have? Oh, we do. We have a successful star pass here to Moxie. And Salt calls it.
Shout out here for the New England coaches. Way to keep these skaters smiling and supportive all the time. Your positivity and camaraderie is everything.
That's what it's all about.
Don't forget to check out the amazing prizes at the raffle table. And we did see Sayonara selling those tickets. Let's go back to our game. This is Go Skate versus Crash and Burn. Crash and Burn crashing, but currently no fire.
And Go Skate comes
Look at
through.
that. Nice work by Go Skate coming out of the pack.
Whoa, big apex leap jump. Wow.
It's a very quick 4-0 here. That brings Columbia over 100 points. They're at 102. New England 17, halfway through our first half. Shout out here to Sleek It from New England and Ithaca. We couldn't ask for a better coach to lead us in heart, hustle, and team spirit. Thank you. That is for Sleek It.
Aww.
A little bit out the jam. Number 0-1 versus Cinnamon Roller. Listen to that crowd with Little Bit out as lead jammer. Columbia very awake and energetic this morning.
Columbia had some coffee.
Yeah.
We got Lil Bit and Cinnamon Roller. This is Lil Bit's first time out on the track today.
New England losing a blocker to the penalty box, so it's going to be a little bit of an advantage here for Little Bit. Little Bit, though, coming out with 4 points. Oh, and it's a power jam with Cinnamon Roller having a seat in the box. Ooh, Columbia losing a blocker
picks up
to a
some
back
more
block.
Points and calls off the jam.
Yeah, a little bit calls it off. That's freezing Cinnamon Roller in the box, buying Columbia a power start.
A little bit picking up 12 points on their first jam of the game.
Shout out to the New England for your fun, friendly spirit shines in every game. Keep it up. That is for New England. Thank you for that shout out.
It's the shark teeth that's so shiny. That's what it is.
That's a good, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice and polished shark teeth.
Wow. Benny Bone out.
Who do we have? Oh, here's Benny Bone.
Taking advantage of that hole on the inside, picking up lead jammer.
Oh, Benny Bone taking that nice apex, staying in. That was amazing. Great footwork by Benny Bone there. That's why I put my glasses on today. That was great to watch. Benny Bone's taking a penalty here. I missed the penalty.
I didn't catch that hand signal, but New England finally able to break that run of scoreless jams with Cinnamon Roller out with 4 points. Cinnamon Roller now on a power jam. It's going to be a 2-minute jam, no chance for a call-off. Nice one-on-one blocking there by the Columbia pivot. 1977 coming in. That is, let's see who that is. McNugget taking that pivot down. That pivot, number 12 from Columbia, is Fright Bite. So back-to-back penalties here for Benny Bone. Going to put Benny on another all-expenses-paid trip to the penalty box. Nice offense by number 31 for New England. That is Ghostgate trying to clear a hole on the outside for Cinnamon Roller.
Cinnamon Roller is really tenacious. I love the spirit of Cinnamon Roller.
And we talk about the jammers a lot because they're the ones who score the points, but your offense, your pivots, the ones who are breaking up those walls and clearing holes for you, equally as important as also is your defense, who is holding back the other jammers. So we want to make sure everyone here gets the love that they deserve. Yeah, shot of here for McNugget from New England. Let's go, Nugget. Love. Ooh, boy. Punky.
Aw, that's some teammate on teammate love right there. I love it.
Ooh, a little bit of a stumble there between the pivot and jammer. Benny Bone out with a hard fight. It is lead jammer.
HK working hard here. Oh.
It's a high block called on HK.
HK, yeah.
So a power jam in the hands of Benny Bone.
Benny Bone gets through that wall and calls the jam.
Yeah, that's gonna lock HK in the penalty box for another jam start and get a power start here for Crash and Burn. We're gonna jump here to a shout out for Crash and Burn. This is from Coach Reaper. Crash and Burn get all the points. I want to emphasize all the points is in all capitals. So however many points there are, gets them all.
Just all of them. Just, yeah.
It's a 4-digit score here after this jam.
HK is starting off in the penalty box here. We've got Crash and Burn lead jammer.
Yep, still a power
Here
jam for Columbia.
HK coming back in. Slicing through that defensive wall.
Crazy Banana with a block to the inside by Crash and Burn. Crash and Burn is given a track cut.
And HK, wonderful.
And that footwork on the inside
Awesome
line,
footwork.
just stepping around, staying in bounds on those toe stops. HK is out with 4 points.
And this is where you really see all of the stuff that goes. There you go. All of the intricate work that's happening within the pack.
There's a lot going on.
To stop and to start and to help. Oh, nice skating.
Crash and burn back in from that penalty. Both jammers now back in action.
And we're going to play this jam out. 40 seconds left in this jam. 8 minutes left in the game, in the half.
There is a no pack call and then a continued block. So that's going to take one of the New England skaters off. And look at the apex jump by Crash and Burn.
Big jump, just out of bounds. Ah, big star pass to Fireflyer. And we've got New England.
Well, 7 minutes left to our first half, and we have seen a lot of good action in this game. Shot of here for Coach Bug from Columbia Junior Rollers. You coach better than you skate. Wow. You coach better than you skate. It just got really cold. New profession, just kidding. Love mom and dad.
I got a chill.
Wow.
It's
that was
cold in
rough.
here.
If there's any fallout from this, we are literally just the messengers.
Nope, yep. That little bit out there, that's a lot of bit, a little bit. Little bit is tenacious. And Moxie's out there. Got 777. We got Punky Bruiser and little bit just mowing down. Little bit staying in on that turn. And on the inside track, coming around.
Now of over 100-point game, little bit still in control.
We have a star pass too.
We have a shout out to Womp Womp from Columbia Junior Rollers. Your room is still dirty?
I feel that one in my heart.
We love you. Good luck. Can we call penalties if your room is still dirty?
Who's that from? Is that from Mom?
It has to be.
Mom. I feel that one in my soul.
You didn't go back to Columbia and clean your room last night?
Come on. So, Carnage, how long have you been doing announcing?
It started in 2014.
2014,
Yes.
That's a long time. You know, I wanted to be your Fred Willard today and ask you all kinds of inappropriate questions, like best in show, like the announcer and who was clueless and didn't know anything about the sport of derby, and say like...
Well, when I began, I had been reffing at that point for about 4 years. I went to a game at a team called Mason-Dixon. They were in Hagerstown, Maryland. And actually, no, it was Reading. It was Reading. And someone said, our announcer is not here. Do you want the mic? And I said, no. What am I going to do with this thing? I'm probably going to swear. But actually, it went very well. I enjoyed it.
Well, I said I would only do this if I had a good person to do this with.
No.
And they said it was you. And I said, okay.
Well, we are a fully inclusive announcer table up here. Anybody who thinks that they might want to try it, fully welcome to jump in. We could always use more voices. Ooh. There's
A hard hit there.
yeah, I'm not sure if that was the reason for that jam call off or not. Yeah, I think our
Gotta get it
officials
checked
called
out.
off the jam because of that hit to the head.
We always want to be really careful.
Right. I believe everything's going to be okay, but we just protocol. We want to make sure that any contact to the head is going to be looked at by our famous Ellie and Evie.
This break is brought to you by 888 Helmets. Always wear a helmet. It's good for your head. Brain bucket.
And don't forget to check out the amazing prizes at the raffle table. Find Sayonara, just spot that bright pink hair. There she is, waving her hand, getting assistance there from Burpee, pointing over at Sayonara. Prizes from 187 killer pads, 888 helmets, Rydell skates, radar wheels, skate for your die, and Philly's own Mitchell and Ness vintage sports clothing. I know some people were eyeing up those hoodies up there with the Philly other sports
there.
teams, some sports ball thing logos up there. So your support is gratefully appreciated. It looks like Philly is doing an amazing job with getting some, just the fundraising going on this weekend, and this, of course, helps us put on these tournaments. As we know, we do every year. We do Philly Fest, usually in February. In May, we have Hoagie Roll. And 2 or 3 times, twice, I guess, in the past couple of years, they've hosted Northeast Regionals here as well.
We did playoffs, yep.
It takes a lot for a league to host those things, to get these people here.
That's right.
And have the best of the best. Of course, we have the best medics, the best officials, the best volunteers, best photographers to represent.
And the best announcer.
Well,
yeah.
There's a handful of us.
Now, did we ever host champs here ever? I don't
No,
think
we
hosted champs.
We hosted champs we call it Philly in 2018, which actually is at Feasterville, which is the former home of what used to be called ECDX. And that was in 2018, and it was a 5-day event. My first time ever seeing a Junior Derby was at this event. I walked in, really hadn't announced a tournament like that or seen Junior Derby, and for probably 7 days, my jaw was on the floor because I'm just like, what is this, and why don't we have this in my area?
Wow.
I didn't know Junior Derby was that much of a thing, but that was 5 days I think it was 2 days of champs and 3 days of World Cup right after it. So it was 5 days, and it was the most intense thing. So yeah, that's probably the last time champs was within our area. Well, no, 2 years ago it was in Rockville, Maryland, which isn't terribly far.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Well, it was a little crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
It went well.
That was my first champs, and my jaw was on the floor.
That was a good weekend.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a cool venue.
That was home of Free State Roller Derby. I reffed a lot of games at that venue in the years past.
That was a great venue.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun fact: my mother hit a car in the parking lot that weekend. That was a lot of fun. A parked car.
It happens. That place gets really busy. The Rockville Sportsplex, or whatever it's called now.
Yeah. I had a lot to deal with that weekend, including a hit
I remember
and run.
having to have another announcer fill in for me so I could jumpstart someone's car in the parking lot.
We got
back to back there for 429.
Oh, yep.
One of the blockers from Columbia getting 2 penalties on that.
We got a lot of action in that penalty box. About 3.5 minutes left in this period.
Ooh, that block by the New England pivot just stepped in the way. Looks like Salt mistakenly left the track, but stepped back in.
See, the pack is moving forward there as the jam comes to an end. Fresh group coming out here.
Shout out here for Fireflyer from New England. Your courage, heart, and joy on the track make us so proud. Keep on rolling. That is love, Mom, Dad, and Elio.
That's so positive. Aw, Mom and Dad and Elio. Aw. And we've got a lead jam by Rash and Burn. And we've got some blocking.
Nice.
Cinnamon roller makes it through. Oh, what a jump!
Cinnamon roller is okay. I thought, yeah, it was gonna
On
be
that
called off on a track cut.
inside.
Yeah, so it's a power jam for Crash and Burn.
Crash and Burn coming around to pick up some more points as lead jammer. And the pivot for Columbia takes a seat. Crash and Burn looking around, seeing where they're going to go next here. Eyeing up this New England wall here. Using those toe stops to make their way through.
Cinnamon roller back in after that track cut.
Picking up 16 points on this jam so far. And they call it. As we work our way into the last jam of this half. This is the first game of the day of 3 games. We've got this game and then 2 more after this. It's going to be a great day of derby. Thank goodness it's nice and cool in here today. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, oh.
Don't make Squid mad.
Oh, I don't want to make Squid mad.
You seen that look? That stone cold look that Squid gives those blockers and jammers?
I got the stone cold. Don't jinx it. Oh, we got a nice star pass there.
So we actually had an announcer from Columbia here just a few weeks ago at Hoagie Roll. That was Chaos Coordinator. Sad to hear that was her last time announcing, because she helped out at Hoagie Roll and she helped out at Champs last year in a big way. She came back at just the right time and saved us from the last game of the tournament. So.
And why was it her last time announcing?
I believe that was because she has a child who is aging out of the juniors program.
That's
so,
such a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, next time I do this, I'm going to just print out a list of puns.
There you go.
I'm just going to
So keep a
death.
notepad during the day. When you think of one, just write it down.
Next time, I'll be a little more prepared for my announcing.
Columbia breaking that 200-point mark. We are in the official last jam of the first half. The period clock has expired, and Shorty calls it off. So on that, we are going into halftime.
Intermission.
Visit that merch table, get those shout-outs to us. I have 2 more. We're holding on to 2 more that
And you can get shout-outs for a future game, and we'll
yes.
make sure that
Yes.
we announce it at the proper time.
If we do see one for a team that's not playing, we're going to shelf that until that team is playing, so the skaters are here rather than walking around warming up or whatever they do.
One thing we do have is timing, so we're good at that.
So yes, take Now, with all that aside, moving into our second half, please enjoy some Junior Derby. Going in, Columbia 205. New England, I think they're at the 35-point mark there. We've had a lot of amazing jams here by both teams.
I love that sign. Players play, parents cheer, coaches ref. I love that sign.
We do appreciate enthusiasm where and when it's due, but
Right.
thankfully we don't expect to have any issues here. Look at that. I think this is our first star pass of the game.
Yeah.
Moxie passing that star over to Ghostgate. Ghostgate with a turnaround toe stop just at the end of that jam. Shout out here to Ruby Rocket from New England. Hi, Ruby. You're doing great. Love y'all. Love you, little sis. Love Emer and Mumsy. Wumsy.
Aw, Ruby. Mumsy loves ya.
I'm down to my last shout out. We need to change this here.
We need some more shout-outs.
We're going to hold this one to the next Womp Womp out there versus Cinnamon Roller.
That's my favorite name to say. Womp Womp.
Well, you get to say it again. Who is our lead jammer?
It's Womp Womp.
Womp Womp.
We've got the pivot back in the game here. Out of the Womp Womp.
New England throwing their entire defense at the top of the pack against Womp Womp.
Oh,
Ooh.
Cinnamon Roller gets a hard hit
Yeah.
out.
That was livid.
Oh,
She clothespinned me.
that means they love you. If you get
Oh, wait.
clothespinned, it's a sign of endearment and love. Womp Womp, making it through, picking up points.
I only have 2 clothespins from River Runner. And, well, Crooked River's not here, so we won't discount that.
We're in Jam 2 here.
I thought we were getting a $1 shout out. No, I got clothespin
No,
instead.
just clothespins. And Womp Womp, calling off the jam.
Shout out here to Coach Case from New England. You're the best around. Emphasize there are 4 O's written there in around. We love you. Thanks for all you do. That is for Coach Case there, wearing that number 97 jersey.
We love Coach Love. We love our coaches here in the Jurda
Keeping
League.
track of our piles of shout outs. New England and Columbia seem to be at the top here for most shout outs.
Oh, and we
Columbia has
just got a Ruby Rocket shout out, and here's Ruby Rocket.
Yes, see? Now Ruby
It
Rocket's also lead jammer.
I think this is Stormcloud as on their first jam of this whole game. I don't think I've seen Stormcloud jam. We got Ruby Rocket working hard here.
Stormcloud, yeah.
on the inside.
Finding that hole there on the inside lane with an 8-point jam so far. Hey, here comes Tef with a stack of shout-outs.
Here comes Steph.
1, 2, 3. Philly is making out like a bandit with these shout-outs this weekend. I am so proud to see this because this directly benefits our juniors team here. Stormcloud called off on a penalty. I think it's a track cut called by Smash Ketchum.
Now it looks like we've got a successful star pass to Sugar Crush. Coming around. This means we're going to see this jam played out. We've got about 45 seconds left in this jam. Jam 3 of the second half of game 1 here at the B-Sides Championship.
Wow. There's our Columbia cheering squad. Our pack speeds up to get ahead of that jammer.
Recycling Stormcloud back to the back of the pack. Pulling Sugar Crush back as well. that's the end of the jam.
Our next shout out goes to Little Bit from Columbia. So proud of you, Little Bit. Keep it up. That is Love the Tribe.
You have ESP. It's amazing.
Actually, I grew up near ESPN, so I'm 3/4 of the way there.
There you go. Because here comes a little bit.
Bristol, Connecticut, home of ESPN.
Your timing,
Comes straight
amazing.
from there.
Amazing.
All right, so maybe this will give Little Bit the luck that they need to. Don't mean that in a bad. Maybe this will help Little. Yeah, I'm just going to stop talking. I don't know who gives me a mic. You trust me with a microphone? Not a good idea. This will, okay. Oh, well, see, it is an incomplete initial pass there by a Little Bit.
A little bit.
But Little Bit is still the jammer out. Oh, Little Bit gets some air there coming around turn 4. Lead going to Moxie.
Little Bit recycling back. Nope, no, a little bit.
Yeah, New England down
A little
2.
bit taking a tumble there. 777 going over.
A little bit of a tumble there.
Little Bit coming around. Now, Little Bit does not have lead. Moxie has lead here.
Yeah, well, Moxie
Moxie
I'm
is
currently
taking
getting
a
close
trip
to again.
to the penalty box.
Squid with a
So, Little Bit's going to come around and pick up some points here. While Moxie takes a little stay.
yeah, a Little Bit
Ooh, Little Bit.
did have that incomplete initial pass. No pass, no penalty, so not lead, but a little bit on this power jam. So the power of the shout out once again benefiting our jammers, despite my very poor wording of that.
And we've got 35 seconds left in this jam. Moxie's back in. Number 777. What a lucky number.
So there it is.
Right.
Little Bit trying to call off the jam, but due to that incomplete initial pass, Little Bit is not lead, so does not
lead
have that
jammer.
privilege.
There's the end of the jam. Carnage and I were just talking about that a little earlier. You can't call a jam if it's not your lead.
Back in the day, and maybe Lone Bone might remember too, when the days of minor penalties, if you tried to call off the jam, you actually got that penalty.
Oh.
Now, you didn't go to the box, but there was a whitewboard on the inside. They marked down that you had a minor, and if you had 4 minor penalties,
Minor penalty.
we probably did away with that in 2013 or 14. Ooh, look at this.
More. Oh, I love shout-outs. Oh, more shout-outs.
By our current rule sets, trying to call off a jam when you're not lead is not a penalty that
No, that shouldn't
is
be a
worthy of.
penalty.
Right, you won't be sent off the
No.
track. It
Because
kind of
look,
falls now under the no impact, I guess.
You've got a lot going on in your brain. Like,
Right.
you know, I can totally understand making that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much. Also, guess what? You're on 8 wheels. There's a lot happening. Like, you know. And what would happen if you had a minor penalty? Would they add up?
No, but what would happen with a minor penalty? It would go.
Womp
It would
womp
go
out
to. A ref would give it to a. So a ref would call it with no whistle, right? So and so forearm, and it just went to the whiteboard. It got marked on the whiteboard, and that's
Yeah.
about really as far as it went. But if you got 4 minor penalties, you had a box trip. You also had the major, so there could be like a forearm major, or a low block major, or just a low block minor penalty. Which, looking back, it seems awfully confusing. I don't know how we did that.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is too much.
But there were NSO positions on each opposite corner of the track where the refs would deliver that penalty to the NSO. They would flash it to the inside whiteboard. And so what would happen is jammers who were sitting on like 3 minor penalties would go and like deliberately false start to get that 4th. They'd take their box trip and then come back in with a fresh, with, you know, undoing those 4.
Ah.
Yeah.
Game in the system.
Yes.
Yes.
They knew how to work around there.
I see.
Because if you were a jammer and you had 3 minor penalties on your name and you had like a minor back block, you were getting that the fourth penalty there. You're getting the box trip. And in order to save them that, they would play the system to get that extra penalty when it really didn't matter.
Got it.
Yeah.
Womp Womp picking up 18 points with that last jam.
Let's not live in the
Womp
past.
Womp. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Shout out here for Storm Cloud from Columbia. This is from Mommy. Time to grind with the Killer Bees.
Ooh, I like it. Time to grind. Storm Cloud. Is that Shorty?
Yeah, this is Shorty and Fireflyer from New England.
Firefly's working that. Ooh, Shorty. Firefly working hard to get through that pack. Right on that outside edge. Firefly working that inside edge and getting through that pack. Firefly coming around. Shorty's got.
Oh,
Shorty's
that's a
taking a
track
trip
cut.
to the box.
2-minute jam. Fireflyer now on a power jam for New England.
That's right. This is a real opportunity for Firefly to pick up some points. Oh, we almost had a ref down.
It's
Almost had
Gus.
a ref down. Oh, it's Gus.
I think Gus is used to having people fly at him.
Great to see Gus out here reffing.
Yeah.
We've got Gus. We got a great crew out here reffing today on skates. We've got Fireflyer recycled back. No points so far this jam. We're going to play it out with about 35 seconds left in this jam.
Yeah, Shorty getting that penalty is going to cost them lead jammer, so we got to go for the full 2 minutes.
Picking up 4 points for Shorty. And looks like HK has picked up jammer with a picking up some points with HK. All right, HK is picking up some points. Maybe.
Time out. Let's see if this is a team timeout or an official. And I'm
see.
seeing different hand signals.
Let's see what it is.
Well, let's give a shout out here to a little bit from Columbia.
Yeah.
Way to jam a little bit. Love Grandma, Grandpa, Aunt Maggie from Florida. So we were talking about our live feed and kind of querying where our viewers are. I think we had one yesterday from Missouri. We have Grandma, Grandpa, and Aunt Maggie from Florida currently on the live feed with us. I guess that's a way, since we can't monitor really the chat, right? We're not watching the chat. If you get your shout-outs to us remotely, we can give you a shout-out as to where you are. We know how far our viewers are watching us from today.
That's right. That's right. Well, there is a way for us to monitor the chat. We can probably send somebody over to say hello to Melissa over there.
She's giving
who's
us the
doing our
wave.
live stream. She's giving us a wave. So if you're on the live stream, maybe you can say, just give us a little hoot and holler. Say where you're from.
We want to know how far
Yeah.
our Battle of the B-Sides is traveling this weekend for our viewers.
Let's do that every game. Who's the furthest out watching?
Yeah.
Watching.
And can we get anybody maybe on a overseas or
Another time zone, maybe?
Yes. Well, time zone, I believe we've gotten that already.
All right. How about over a big body of water? That would be nice.
Because they'll be announced.
Okay, so we got some viewers from New Hampshire because we have New England here and Huntington, Georgia? Covington, Georgia. Okay.
Georgia's near South Carolina. But Florida is far. Missouri's far.
I believe it was Missouri
That's
yesterday.
far.
We could probably go through there's probably 100 shout-outs here.
Unbelievable.
There's a lot of them.
That's a lot.
Yes.
I left a little pile here that somebody gave me earlier. Did you see those? I think it was those.
Is
This is all Denver. This is Denver. This is the Denver pile.
Rhode Island. Okay, yeah, we did have a shout out here from Rhode Island a little earlier this morning, I believe.
Rhode Island.
Let's give a shout out to Coach Eddie from Columbia. This is from Z. Cold and free, right? Cold and free, right, Coach Eddie?
Cold and free?
Cold and free, right?
Yeah, right? Cold and free.
Okay, so we've got some viewers in Georgia, New Hampshire, Rhode Island,
All right.
Columbia currently not only winning the game, currently winning these dollar shoutouts. This is a massive stack of shoutouts from them.
Cold and free. I like to be both of those things, cold and free.
Columbia lead. Womp womp. Out to jam.
Womp womp. I love hearing all the variations of womp womp. It's my favorite.
It's one of those names that I would never have thought of. But when I hear it, I'm like, that is a excellent choice.
Now, is that a first name, last name sort of situation? Like Mrs. Womp, Mr. Womp? Womp, womp.
So and then when you're at practice and things are really informal, everyone has a nickname, right? So do you call you Womp? I guess
Right.
you have to because it's either Womp or Womp. Like who put the bomp in the bomp Womp? I don't know. Another shout out here for Coach Eddie for Columbia. This is from the parents. Keep calm, everything is fine.
Oh. Oh, from the parents.
I just picture the meme with the dog and the fire and everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Wow, Columbia. Wow.
Columbia.
We need New England to catch up on some of these dollar shout-outs here. This is all for Columbia. I mean, we're happy, but we want to be unbiased here. Jammer referee smash catch him calling lead on Storm Cloud for Columbia.
HK swooping back in from that penalty box. Building that defensive wall to hold back Storm Cloud. Shorty goes to the penalty box. And the jam is called.
Little bit getting another shout out here for Columbia. You're the jam to my PB&J a little bit. Love Aunt Coley and crew.
Oh, that's a peanut butter and jelly joke. I love it.
Listen, there's never a bad time for peanut butter and jelly.
No.
I wonder how Sayonara's making out. Oh, speaking of raffles,
Yeah.
we have the official word here from Devoted Mercy. This is the last call for raffles. So if you were on the fence about getting those tickets, get them in soon. Maybe Sayonara will make an exception for you because we're going to call those here at some point during the day.
Last call for raffles. A little bit, giving some direction and taking that inside track for 4 points. We've got a penalty called on Little Bit,
yeah.
taking a seat. That happens. That happens. We've
Ooh.
got a
Beautifully executed star pass.
Yeah.
Look at that. Going to number
Very
31,
nice.
Ghost Gate.
Is this a power jam?
It is because Little Bit was the jammer for
Yep,
Columbia.
There we go. There we go. See the packs moving forward. Making Ghost Skate really work here.
Yeah, they're a runaway pack.
They're really making everybody work hard here.
I mean, they're full of energy because they're they're juniors.
You know, they've been only skating for, 50 minutes.
Ooh, Go Skate taking a spill there on the
Yeah.
outside. Just
Go
realized,
Skate recycling back.
I just
Yeah.
realized we have a mother-daughter ref combination here with T-Bone and No Guts, No Glory.
Oh, yeah. Keeping it real. End of the jam. End of the jam.
3:01:52, Columbia with the advantage, and there's an official review being called, so I'll go ahead and grab that.
We've got a timeout. I'm going to go check in with our live stream operator to find out where all of our live stream people are from. So this moment of silence is brought to you by the Philadelphia Free Library while I go find out where all my live stream people are from. So hang on.
New England calling for an official review, questioning a initiation by one of the Columbia skaters and whether or not it would fall under the definition of egregious. When the officials got together, what they discussed was penalties in Derby are based on target zones and blocking zones, and whether or not a penalty can be called kind of has to fall within an illegal target zone or blocking zone by the initiator. So there was a very enthusiastic contact made, but it was not to an illegal target zone or by an illegal blocking zone. So it, by the book, does not meet the criteria for a penalty. So they can't issue that penalty, and they will have lost that review. Obviously, we know Derby gets to be very energetic and passionate, and we see a lot of big hits that kind of leave us, a little wide-eyed, and we go, "Whoa, look at that!" But at the end of the day, if it's a legal contact zone, target zone, and blocking zone, then the rules don't define that that's a penalty. Then they have to let it go. I had to spend 4 days on jury duty a couple weeks ago, so it's. I feel like I'm right back there.
Were you on the jury?
I was. I will ignore Squid so that when Squid puts a clip on me, I don't see it.
It's terms of endearment.
Absolutely.
Terms of endearment. Was it a fun case?
Well, no. Unfortunately, they weren't.
All right, tell me later.
It's things that like you kind of know, but there is no proof, and they weren't things that you wanted to really. I mean, it was a good experience, right? We met a lot of people and made some friends actually. Just give it to me. We'll take it.
How do they pay their dollar?
I don't know.
I'm sure they can.
We are coming to.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Just let us know what it is, and
About 10 minutes
don't
left
know.
in this first game here. Benny Bone.
okay. We have had a
Benny
few
Bone,
dollar
yeah.
shout outs come from the live feed, so anyways, we're back to our jam. We're gonna get
some-
you taken care of.
Live feed shout outs.
Yeah, what they're
Give me a
questioning
quote.
is how they can get the dollar to Philly. So I think someone else is handling this. Let me see if I have Philly in my Venmo history here.
It's not in Venmo, it's in PayPal.
Okay.
And it's Philly Roller Derby Juniors.
Yeah,
It's a new PayPal.
I scanned the QR yesterday, but I
Yep.
didn't
we
see
don't have
the
a
name.
Venmo, but we do have a PayPal.
We'll get the details to that after this jam. Because Moxie is up with 4 points for New England.
Yeah. We've got Benny Bone in the penalty box. Moxie takes a spill. Popping right back up. That kid's got Moxie. It's a good name for Moxie. Benny Bone gets through that pack. Coming around. 8 minutes left in this period.
I've got to catch up on some of these shout outs that we have here.
Nice.
Oh, and a forearm on Benny Bone. So Benny Bone is going to go have a seat in the box. Do not pass go nor collect $200.
And we're going to start the next jam with Benny in the box.
Shout out here to Smasher and Fright Bite from Columbia. I want to see you sacrifice a teammate. There is 7.5 minutes left.
I don't know if there's time for that. Human sacrifice here in Philly. Okay, that's nice.
So for the live feed clarification, there is a PayPal for Philly Juniors, and it's exactly that. It is Philly Roller Derby Juniors. I suppose if you just get the dollar to that PayPal and get somebody in the live feed the shout out that you want, we'll get you taken care of.
And that's very nice of you, and Philly really appreciates it, and thank you. Let's get back to that human sacrifice. I need to know more about
yeah,
that.
we,
Is that I don't know if that's legal. Is that
We're
is
not
that,
officials, so
is
we
that-
can't make that call.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that if you get a penalty for
I think
human
that might
sacrifice?
that's at
Or
least a
is
box
it
trip.
metaphorical?
Yeah.
Maybe it's metaphorical. Let's go with that. HK jamming for New England. Oh, wow. HK recycling back. We've got Benny coming around.
Nice block there by number 0-1 from Columbia. That's a little bit taking down, I believe, HK. Oh,
Locomotive getting hit there. HK coming out with lead jammer. HK's got that height advantage here. Out of bounds and calling off the jam.
shout out here from Z to the Columbia Killer Bees. Y'all killing the game.
Killer Bees.
Listen to that cheering section here for Columbia.
TJR.
We almost had a turf war yesterday during the Pittsburgh game.
We've got Cherry Bomb. I haven't seen a lot of Cherry Bomb.
It's a JRDA regulation. Each
Okay.
team has to have a cherry bomb.
Ah,
That's
there you
like
go.
you have to have 8
And
sanctioned
I
games.
Should correct myself. I haven't seen a lot of Cherry Bomb as a jammer. I think
Right.
Cherry Bomb has been
When it's
working D.
each team has to have 8 sanctioned games for JRDA, and each team has to have a cherry bomb.
Cherry Bomb?
Yes. One of my best friends in Derby, formerly under that name,
Yeah, oh, it's a good name. It's
when
a good name.
she was a junior. Now that
Yeah.
she's not, she did change it because of another cherry bomb who was at that league.
There you go.
So Joan Jett getting her song going to good use.
Cherry Bomb. Always a classic. And you just stick one in a mailbox and, walk away. Not that I ever did that. But
I did, but I won't.
Yeah.
No one heard that.
No. There's a statute of
It was a
limitations
long
on
time
that
ago,
one, I
yeah.
think, right?
I was probably the skater's age, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
right.
No.
That was.
You can't get a penalty for that. It was too long ago.
I'll take my 30 seconds in the box. Coach Bug, you got a shout out here from Z. I guess you can coach.
I guess.
I suppose.
I guess.
There's a
Who's that?
smiley. There's a smiley face to lessen the passive aggressiveness on that comment.
Who's that from?
This is from Z.
Oh, that's-
ZII.
Ooh, it's chilly in here. Whew, that's
Yeah.
cold.
We are just the messengers. So one thing I liked about Champs in DC is we were up on the mezzanine with a net. So if we said something that stirred up the crowd, we were protected. We had architectural protection.
We're pretty vulnerable here. Crash and burn. Crash and burn.
Nice defense from Columbia's number 79, Spitfire. Ruby Rocket out the jam for New England.
We got McNugget. McNugget doing some defense there. Crash and burn stepping through that defensive line. Just a sidestep there with Crash and burn. And calling off the jam.
Score now 346 Columbia. New England 66. Salt receiving a shout out here from Z. Do a trick. Now we're still waiting for that teammate sacrifice, but if we'll settle for a trick from Salt.
Ooh, a trick.
Maybe a cartwheel on skates.
Ooh. Did they outlaw the backflip?
We have JRDA leadership here. I don't believe that would go over too well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
We've got Salt
Yeah.
coming out.
So let's see if Salt will do a trick.
Do a trick. All right, Salt's coming around. Beautiful.
I think at least an apex jump would satisfy that request for a trick, right?
In line.
Think we can get Salt to jump the apex in the scoring pass? No.
I don't think Salt can hear us. Oh, look at that.
Salt's
Nice
out there just being an
jump
expert
through.
at being a jammer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Doing what Salt does best. Picking up points, putting them right in their pocket.
Unfortunately, I think Z might be a little salty that
No.
Salt did not do a trick. Salt calls off the jam. 54 seconds left on
Calling it
our
off.
period clock.
There you go.
And the last here at the bottom of the shout-outs, this is to Spitfire from Columbia. You can't douse this dynamo. Spitfire's flames never fade. Love, Aunt Shell.
Oh, Aunt Shell. That's so sweet. To your little Spitfire. Oh.
In what's likely going to be the last jam of game one, I believe this is Spitfire out to jam. No, this was
A little bit.
a little bit out
That's
to
a little
jam.
bit.
And
Just
Ghost
a little
Gate.
bit.
Ghost Gate,
And
unfortunately.
I see these teams on their feet. Little bit comes on out.
Ghost Gate rejoins the game from the penalty box.
I think this is the last jam.
Oh, this is definitely the last jam of the
Yeah.
game.
There we go. Little bit is
Ooh.
punching their way through. Oh, just punching through.
Nice roll back by 429
Ghost
from
Gate
Columbia.
recycling back. Little bit coming through again on that inside line.
Columbia getting pumped up here for the last seconds of the jam. Little bit with a 8-point
We've
jam
got
so
the,
far.
Teams on both sides on their feet as Little Bit pushes their way through that defensive line, picking up. And Ghost Gate goes to the penalty box. Little Bit picking up 12 points and calling the jam, and
Little
that's the game.
Bit calls it off. Waiting on an official count by our referees, jam refs and scorekeepers. But the unofficial score before it's finalized, New England 66, Columbia 370.
Both teams playing their hearts out. It's always great to see good derby, good coaching,
Well,
good reffing.
we can say the coaching's good. The commentary from the dollar shout-outs.
Good love from
Yes.
parents. And I think we need to wait.
Yeah, the teams aren't really going to do their... It looks like we're still finalizing the score
We're
here.
waiting on an official score.
There we go. And I'm going to jump in on this too.
And now
Refs
we're
have
good.
spoken.